Hi guys, welcome back to Jungle Flowers Canada. So I took this video from Begonia's Home and Kitchen, which is my other channel, and I decided I would put it up here on this for you because it is a worthwhile video, and you will notice, guys, I look very different. I have short hair in this video, so I hope you enjoy it. Take care. I'm just going to do a quick propagation video. So I've got so many plants now that I'm thinking I shouldn't really be buying anymore. I should just be propagating what I have. So when you're taking your cutting off of your prayer plant, you have to make sure that you get a node. So you can see here there's a node here, and then there's a little bit of a stem, and that's actually a beautiful cutting. So when that roots and I put that in here, it's going to be quite a nice plant. So I took 3 cuttings of it. I may use all 3 in here. I may put some back into the original plant. So all of them have they're just cut below a node where the leaves are. So I just picked up these glass vases in Dollarama. I think they were $2 or $2.50, and it's lovely to see the roots coming in. So I just filled it up with water. Make sure you submerge the node into the water, and don't put it in direct sunlight. Put it in somewhere that has light but is slightly shaded, because to get plants to root, it's better for them to be in a more shaded area until they're established. So that's how I'm propagating my prayer plant. You can also put it directly into soil if you dip it in rooting hormone and put it in. But I just wanted to do this because I wanted to keep an eye on the roots and make sure that I don't neglect it. Sometimes when I'm not in my dining room, sometimes I might forget about it. So I wanted to get it started this way. So, and it also looks really pretty. So it'll be a nice little display while it's starting to root. Okay, so that's the prayer plant. Now I have become an addict when it comes to snake plants. I think they're just beautiful. Our mother-in-law's tongue. And this one here is gorgeous. I put the name up on the screen. I can't quite remember the name, but it has been my most favourite purchase. So I had a big one and I split it into 2 plants. And this leaf was kind of hanging over. It doesn't stand as upright as some of the others. It is a little bit more wayward, but somebody knocked the leaf off. So I had 2 of them actually that were knocked off. So I decided that I would try 2 different ways of propagating. So I just evened off the end, just cut off the end, and I just popped it into this vase with water. And as you see, that's so pretty there. I just have it up on my kitchen counter, but not in the window, just to the side of the window, and I'm going to watch that propagate. Now this was one that fell off a little bit earlier than this, and I decided I'd try rooting it in soil. So the most important thing when you're rooting a snake plant, if you decide you're going to cut it into different pieces, you have to make sure that the correct end goes into the soil. If you put it in the wrong way, it won't work. So if you are going to cut it up like this one, just make sure you lay them down with the correct order. So cut a piece, lay it this way, next piece, make sure you lay it the same way, and then make sure you put the correct end into the soil. Otherwise it's wasted. Okay, so that's really important. So we'll pop that in there. Now I doubt that there's any roots on this yet. No, there's nothing on this yet, but we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll, when they have all rooted, I'll come back and finish the video, and then we will put it up. So I have this down in my plant room, but I don't have it under a grow light. I have a section where I have 2 grow lights on either side, and I have a little kind of a storage area. So that's actually where I have them. I got 4 plants out of it. You may remember, those of you that are on my Facebook group, you may remember that my beautiful Hindu rope got mealybugs. And are they back? No, I thought for a second I got a fright. So I did a little video and showed you that I sprayed the whole thing with 70% rubbing alcohol, and then I made a bath in my sink of Dove dishwashing liquid, olive oil and warm water, and I actually dipped the whole plant into it and washed it. Now most of the plant came back absolutely fine, no issues at all, but this one branch has been struggling. So I decided, rather than waste it, I'm going to try propagating it. It may not work, we'll see, but it gives me an opportunity to show you how I do propagate my Hindu ropes, and we'll, if it works, hey, it's a great indicator as to how to save a plant if you think it's going to die. So when I'm doing my Hindu ropes, I make my cuttings, and again you need to have a node. So this came down from the plant, So let's put this end in. Okay, so I'll make my cuttings. I'll start this length here. Okay, so I'm going to cut just up above a node. I don't know if you can see, just up above a node, and I'm going to take off this leaf. Here, I'll cut it off. Because it needs a node to root, and there's actually quite a few little nodes here, so I'm going to take off this layer of leaves as well. Okay, so that's a nice stem with lots of little nodes on it, and there's little aerial roots, it looks like, starting there. So what I do with my Hindu rope to start off with is I take a plastic bag. I'm just checking to make sure that it's fine. No mealybugs, thank goodness. So I take a Ziploc bag, get a good one, like a freezer one that's going to have a really good seal. And then I pop in my cutting. I usually use big bags, but I don't have any big bags today. So we'll pretend I'd probably put 2, if they're small, maybe 3 into this. Okay, and then I take a tiny bit of water and pop a little bit of water in the corner, just a small amount. And then I'm going to zip over my bag. When you get to the end, you can, if you like, blow some air into it, just to inflate it, just with your mouth. And then zip it the rest of the way across. Okay, now I will put that in, I usually leave them on my kitchen table because my kitchen table gets varying amounts of light during the day and it creates condensation. So basically it's like a little humidifier here for the Hindu rope. So I'm going to try that with all of these that are withering away, poor babies. And then when I see some roots, you're not going to see a lot, I don't leave it in here till you see a lot of roots, but when you start seeing some roots and a little bit of new growth coming along, I then dip it in rooting hormone and I pop it into soil. So I have one here that I have done that with, and I just want to show you what the roots are like now. See, look, it's like so well established. I'm going to make a mess here now on my table. Okay, can you see? Look at the roots on that. So that, I did this one maybe, I'm guessing, it's definitely after Christmas, so maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and it's nicely established. You do get a little bit of wrinkling sometimes when you need some water. This needs water now. So I'm just going to top it up, and that wrinkling typically will go away. This particular one, though, nothing I'm doing was making the wrinkling go away. So that's why I decided to try and propagate it and see if that would work. Okay, so there's the Hindu rope. Leave it in here probably for, I would say maybe, I leave them in there maybe for about 2 weeks. And it just seems to give them a little bit of a head start. And what I'm hoping that this will do is that it'll pump this back up again. So the leaves that are looking kind of all wrinkly, that they will actually become more hydrated and then ready to be potted. So that's the Hindu rope. I'm going to show you another plant which I love. I'm just going to take a cutting from it here. Again, you're going to just go below a leaf. This is gorgeous, this plant. This is called a watermelon begonia. There's another name, it's a Repens. I have to get that name for you, but I just absolutely love it. It's so pretty. I don't know what happened here, but some of the leaves came off. Sometimes when I just take one of these little stalks, I actually did it with a Monstera Adonsonii. I always pronounce that wrong, but I think it's a Monstera Adonsonii. I just had a piece of stem, no leaf, and I said, oh, I'll just stick it in the pot anyway, and I have 2 new leaves out of it. So let's try that with this. We'll actually maybe leave this leaf and pop it in water and see what happens. So I'm going to cut it just at that leaf, so I have lots of nodes, and I'm going to pop it. That actually looks too long. Let's try and get 2. Okay, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Okay, so I'll go in the middle here, and I'm going to pop 2 of them into water, just see what happens. And actually, I think there might be a new little leaf coming there. And then this one. I actually have one, and it's starting now to grow up my wall in my my backsplash of my tiles in my kitchen. It's tiny, but it was just one I stuck in. I think actually a branch fell off, and I stuck it in water for a few days. It rooted so quickly. I put it into a tiny little terracotta pot. It's under my counters, my upper cupboards, I should say, in my kitchen, and it's actually now going up my tile. So it's really cute. So I'm going to stick this in here. So now we have 3 cuttings in here. I'll just bend it that way a little bit. No, it doesn't matter. I get these little bottles in the dollar store. There was 4 of these, I think, for, gosh, what, $2. And I love it because then you can actually see when it starts to root. So the beginning of this video was taken on the 22nd of April 2019 for a proper record, and today is the 19th of May 2019, and I just wanted to show you how the plants that I started propagating back then are doing. There is 1 or 2. This one here is more recent. I actually don't have a record of when I started propagating this one, so it has actually started to root, but I'll just put that aside. So these are the ones that I started on April 22nd. So I'm just going to zoom in to show you how they've come along, and I am going to plant these up now in soil. Okay guys, so this is the snake plant. I actually had to take this one away. It actually rotted. So just to show you that not every cutting will be a success, but I might try to cut it off again and start again. But this one here, so these were started about maybe 2 weeks before, 2 or 3 weeks I would say, before I started the one in water. So these would have been started around the very beginning of April. So just, let's have a look here and see. So there are some roots. Let me just pull off the soil so I can show you. So I don't know if you can see there are some roots growing along there, not very many. So this is probably like 6 weeks of growth. So you can see this isn't a very quick process, but there are some roots on there. Okay, so that is the one propagated in soil. So I'm going to keep them in that soil for probably another 3 or 4 weeks before I move them into another pot. Now this is the one that I did in water. So this one was I put in water on the 22nd of April. And if you want to see, you can see the difference there. Look at all the roots on that. So this is a nice big long stem, and it propagated quite quickly. Now I'm not actually going to plant this yet. I'm going to put it back in water and let the roots get longer before I actually plant it into soil. So that's the Sansevieria snake plant. Beautiful plant, I love it. Now I'm not sure if I put this up on the video on the 22nd of April, but I did actually take the cuttings on the 22nd and start the propagation. So this is a Monstera Adonsonii, or a Swiss cheese plant. There aren't very many penetrations on this one, but once it gets established it will start to split better. So you can see there's 2 nice roots on there. They did very well, so I will actually plant these ones up today and get them established in my pot. So what happened here was I had some cuttings, and they were growing quite long, but the actual body of the plant didn't have a lot of stems, so it was kind of bare on top. So I'm taking cuttings now and filling it in so that I will get a much fuller and more established plant. So that was very easy, as you can see, to propagate. I find Monsteras are actually quite easy to propagate. Now this here is my watermelon Begonia, or Pellionia Repens. Again, this was in April 22nd, and look at the nice roots on there. So this is ready now. I will plant this up in soil. This is for my daughter. She's become a plant nut as well, and she keeps asking me to do cuttings for her. I just want to show you this. So this was just literally just a stalk. It didn't have any leaves on it, but I put it in to propagate anyway, and you see there's 2 new leaves on it. So I always say waste nothing, put everything in to propagate, and this will eventually get leaves. In fact, my Monstera Adonsonii, this plant here, I did the very same thing. I had a long stalk with no leaves on it, and I put it in, and now it has new leaves. So I always make use of your plants. Now next we have the prayer plant. So this again, April 22nd, oops, it fell out. Look at the roots on that. Isn't that fantastic? So again, this was another plant that was getting bare on top, was getting very leggy, so I cut off the bottom. There is a dead leaf there, but that's okay. I'll just cut that off, and it won't affect the plant. And I'm going to now put this back in to the pot and fill out the top of it. So I only started this about 2 weeks ago, so there won't be any reference to this in the earlier video, but I just want to show you that it has started to root. Let me find, there were a few here that had started pushing out roots. So have a look here. This here is starting to push out roots. So I leave these for another maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then I will plant these up. Again, they're going to my daughter's house, and it's a great opportunity for her to increase her plant family without costing her a fortune. Okay guys, so the Hindu ropes. So I put them in the plastic bag, which I have done on many an occasion, but they didn't actually do great. I think I left them in for too long because I went on vacation. So I took them out of the plastic bag, and just while I'm waiting to plant them up, I stuck them in water. There's no progress on roots at the moment. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to dip them in rooting hormone, and then I'm going to plant them up. You can also use cinnamon if you don't have rooting hormone. I have used it and it works quite well. Now I usually have great success with Hindu rope, but I don't know what I did wrong this time. I think maybe the plant might not have been as healthy and was a little sick, and that's why it's not cooperating. But I'm not going to give up on it. I'm going to continue, and at some point I will touch base with you guys and show you how they have rooted. Okay, but even though they're wrinkly here, I wouldn't worry about that. That often happens when you're propagating. They go wrinkly, and then once they get established, they kind of firm back up again. So I will try and reference these in another video, because they're not quite at the point I would have liked them to be at before I publish this video. Okay guys, thank you for joining me, and that's it. If you have any questions, please ask below, and please don't forget to subscribe and like my channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day.